Hi, my name is Jessica Grace and welcome to what is the very first interview of our Everyday Inspiration series. This series is all about featuring some inspirational people that have done some really inspiring things in their everyday life, and one of them is sitting next to me right now. So we want to, over the next few weeks, just really feature people who in all different areas of their life are just accomplishing things and achieving their goals, and we want to feature them so that you can be inspired in the goals that you're pursuing in your world. And so I want to introduce you to Michael. Michael is already such an amazing, inspiring part of the Jessica Grace platform. He's normally behind the camera when we're doing the filming, but today he's very graciously stepped out from behind the camera and is sitting in front of the camera, which is a big change. Yeah, he does a lot when it comes to the creative side of how to deliver a lot of the platform's content to you and online, and lots of different things. Bit of everything you need in that moment. That's really what Michael is to the platform. But today we don't want to talk too much about cameras and things. What we want to talk a little bit more is delve into your everyday life and something that you've been navigating and journeying in the last little while, which I'm really inspired by personally. I want to share this inspiration with everyone, is just some changes that you've made in your health. So I just wondered if you could kind of share a little bit about your journey of where you've been, because I know, but everyone else may not. So we're in, as far as making changes to your health and things, can you just kind of share a bit on that?
Yeah, so over the last few years I was diagnosed as a diabetic. Many years of bad eating and just generally not looking after myself. And over the last few years, that's led to some health complications, mostly some pretty severe foot problems, which I'm still getting over at the moment.
Got the boot.
Got the boot on. Early last year, I made the decision to get a gastric bypass done. I've tried diets, exercise. None of it really worked, mostly because of the complications of the diabetes. I had foot problems, so I couldn't walk and run, and had a few little self-control issues, so dieting wasn't for me. A few things in my life that made me reevaluate, reevaluate where I am in my life, and went to a seminar for gastric bypass patients, and was convinced on the spot to have it done.
Wow. So the motivation really, like you were saying, there was just a lot of realities you're having to deal with health-wise, and that would that be fair to say that was probably the motivating force behind taking that step, or is it more also just personally you want to move forward?
It was I had a lot of health troubles that were driving it. I was staring down the barrel of not being around long enough to see my kids grow up, and also I had the incident that many people would know about, where I rescued a bloke from a car in 2017.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was actually also a bit of a driving force, because I was so unfit at the time that it took me about 15 minutes of work to get him out of the car.
Yeah, can we share a little bit, because I know about that, if you're comfortable with that situation, just for people that are watching that don't know you. Michael did go through a life-changing, really, event where someone was trapped in the car. Do you want to share that? Yeah.
So in September 2017, I was driving home from work very late one night, and just outside of Cootamundra, I came across a car that had crashed into a tree, and on checking it out, found the car was on fire, and there was a young bloke trapped inside. So I had to ring the fire brigade, obviously. But at that time of night, they weren't going to get there in time. The fire was advancing, so I had to sort of take matters into my own hands and get him out myself. That involved breaking a window, bending the door frame, and basically hauling an unconscious man of probably about 80 kilos out over a door. And once that was all done, I could feel myself being barely able to stand, because I'd put in so much effort over the course of those 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was powered by adrenaline.
I was going to say, just go, the adrenaline's pumping, but afterwards then you realise probably what's actually happened. It was a bit out of body experience a little bit.
Yeah, it was pretty full on, and once the fire brigade got there and they took over, the adrenaline just sort of evaporated.
Then you had to back to reality.
And my legs were wobbly. I could barely stand.
Wow. So that experience caused you to, like it would any life-changing experience, look at your, personal world and go, differently, because you changed by that, whether you wanted to be or not. So a situation that traumatic, I would expect, that you don't look at things the same. So that's interesting. So that gives an idea, I guess, of the motivation behind the health change. How about some of the strategies? So you mentioned the surgery, but even just some of the other strategies, like literally that's a very practical strategy and route that you took. However, what about mindsets and strategies that you put in place now, just to ensure that change, like you're maintaining your health and you're doing, where you want to be in your health?
The mindset I'm in at the moment is mostly a result of the weight loss. Rather than I didn't go into the weight loss and the surgery thinking with a particular mindset of maintaining it down the track. It was a tool to get me into a position that... So
kickstart.
A good kickstart, yeah.
Yeah.
And
a very decent kickstart.
Yeah. It sort of forced my hand, basically. Because of the way it's done, I couldn't cheat on snacking. There was I didn't really have to exercise much to lose the weight. But once I got down to a certain point, I found I could then walk, run, climb ladders, do all that sort of stuff.
So did it open the door to kind of look at those things differently now?
Yeah.
That's
absolutely, awesome. Yeah.
And what do you think is the biggest challenge you think for your personal world? What was the biggest challenge to getting healthier for you, in that?
I think changing my attitude towards food was the biggest thing. It used to be something that I could go to it was my happy place.
Yeah. Yes, I can relate to that. Somewhat, I'm sure everyone else can too.
And so if I was feeling grumpy or something, I'd go to the shop, get something unhealthy, have it, and feel better for probably half an hour. But it didn't have any sort of ongoing effect. But that was sort of my crutch.
Out of balance. Yeah. Okay. So through this, you've been through a lot. I mean, you've that experience with rescuing that man, having the surgery. What have you learnt about yourself the most through the process?
It's probably the biggest thing that's come along is that I've always been known as the big guy. There goes Big Mike, and
there's no whole identity that comes with that, right?
Yeah.
So there's a big shift now because that's not where you're at now.
Well, that's it. It's a massive change in personality because I'm no longer that person.
Yeah.
And I've got to sort of reevaluate who I am and
you kind of have to say goodbye to that kind of era, right? Is that you kind of because it's not where you're at.
It's not me anymore.
Not who you are anymore. Yeah. Wow. So it's a big adjustment.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
All right. Well, so say if we've got other people that are watching that this area is a challenge for them. What encouragement do you have for other people from your experience that might be battling with health? What's an encouragement that you think would have helped you here when you're going through all these things? Because I know a lot of people can say a lot of things, but I think you have an authority to speak when you've been through something. I try to speak on things I've personally navigated. I think that gives you an authenticity that other people don't have. I've never experienced similar thing. I wouldn't give as much kind of kudos to what I'm saying. But for you, like, what would you encourage people that are struggling in that area, improving their health? What encouragement would you give to them?
I'd say probably the biggest bit of advice I can give is just trying to think of the right
It's tough.
phrasing. Just hook into it. I was the kind of person who always like, there's not that much wrong, and couldn't see the issues beyond
Today?
Beyond today.
Yeah. Bit complacency,
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah.
And but now I'm beyond the journey. Well, I'm still on the journey, but I'm at the tail end of it. And now I can see that the way I was not good. It was not healthy. It was not.
The further away you get from that, the more it's like the joy of hindsight.
Well, that's it. I never thought there was anything wrong with going up a ladder once and then having to have a rest because I was
You're so
exhausted.
used to that. That was your normal. Yeah.
But now, as part of my work, I do lighting work. So that means going up and down ladders, adjusting lights.
Yeah.
And recently I was able to do about 40 trips up a ladder.
Wow.
And
I don't know if I'd do 40 trips up a ladder. Wow.
And that was
That's a revelation almost.
Yeah.
You know, like.
And the other reason I stopped there was because I was done. That was, I didn't have to go up any further. But that would have been unheard of previously.
Wow.
But I didn't think there was anything wrong with.
Yeah, because that was that was normal. So in your new normal now, I know you're like moving forward, with new you, so to speak.
Yep.
So what goals do you have now for your health? Like moving.
Well, I've still got a little bit of weight to lose. I've got. I started. Just before the surgery, I started at 162 kilos. I'm currently at 112.
Wow.
So I've lost 50 kilos already.
Wow.
And that's two of my 6-year-old daughters.
Oh my gosh.
She's just on 26 kilos. So and even that lifting her up to to carry her around. I think I used to carry twice this everywhere.
Everywhere you go, that perspective is just crazy. Like when you're on this side, really, to think of.
And so I've got about another 15 kilos to go. I want to get into double figures. That's sort of my mental goal. Is to see the scales in double figures. And then I'm going to work on more fitness. And sort of build up my strength a bit, and that'll probably tip me back over 100 kilos. But I will have seen 99 on the scale.
Exactly. So well done.
That's
your goal. Yeah, and that's where you're running towards. Well, I've learned a lot just from listening to you as well for goals in my own world, like as well. Like the whole thing you're saying about complacency, and the benefit of all of us watching is we don't have to wait, because we can glean from you've been a pioneer for us. We don't have to wait for a life-changing incident, even though that was a catalyst for you. We can look at your story and be inspired to be like, what am I taking for granted? It might not be health, it might be the people around you, or whatever it is that I can get onto, get going with and start valuing. And, do you find you prioritize yourself more now? Not in a weird way, not in a selfish way, but you know what I mean? Like, do you find that helps, like making sure you've got time for you to, I don't know, go to the gym or whatever?
Yeah, absolutely. Previously, I put a lot of other people first, and now, definitely, I prioritise myself, make time for myself, just to make sure I can, get to the gym, get to the pool. In my current state, I can rest and make sure I get better. Because I think for me personally, that is something that's changed so much of how I do life more healthy, is making sure, like, that thing that I know that I'm making that me time, to, kind of deal with whatever I need to in my world before I help, because, you work in an area where you are constantly giving out all the time. And so, it's really important to, kind of for health, but for everything, to make sure balance and life balance. Well,
I'm so inspired by what you've shared, and I know there's a lot of people that who are watching this interview who will be. We're inspired by Michael anyway because we're around. He's just around the platform, and has actually been part of the platform since the beginning, when we didn't really know what this platform was looking like. We just had a vision, and he was game enough to jump on board and still with us to this day. But I'm very grateful for what you've shared, because I know it's going to help people. So thank you so much for doing that. And for everyone that's watching, I hope you've been inspired. Please comment and let us know. Be encouraged wherever you're at in your health goals, or whatever goals it is. I just believe you're going to be able to glean something amazing and empowering from what Michael's just shared. So thank you so much for sharing your time. We will be continuing to interview inspirations like Michael, so stay connected. If you know someone that is inspirational, that has an inspirational story, I don't know anyone else that's rescued someone from a burning vehicle like Michael, but even just the everyday things. Like I'm inspired by people that have situations that are awful, but they've got a good attitude. Like just the simple everyday things. Let us know, because we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to be inspired by you, because that's what this platform's about, inspiring each other in how we kind of succeed in our everyday lives. So thank you for the success you are, and continuing to be moving forward. Every success for your rest of your health journey. And we'll see you. Well, we won't see you, but we'll be back behind the camera for many more filming. So thank you so much for that, Michael, and thank you everyone for watching.